Welcome to my channel, F1 News.
Ferrari didn't just gain an advantage for Miami. They may have engineered the perfect moment to strike, because right when the FIA removed a hidden trick worth up to 100 extra horsepower at the end of a lap, Ferrari arrived with an upgrade built for that exact weakness. That's not coincidence, that's timing. And in Formula One, timing decides everything. Here's what makes this even more dangerous. While other teams scramble to recover lost performance, Ferrari doesn't need to recover anything. They were never using the trick, which means their car stays the same while everyone else slows down. And now, for the first time this season, the final straight becomes a real fight again. No hidden boost, no invisible advantage, just pure efficiency, and that's exactly where Ferrari focused their upgrade. But the real question isn't whether Ferrari got faster, it's whether they just became the only team fully prepared for this new version of Formula One. Because if that's true, Miami won't just be another race, it will be the moment the balance of power finally shifts. At first, it doesn't look like a revolution. It looks like a small step, a routine upgrade, something every team brings to a race like Miami. But that's exactly why it's dangerous, because Ferrari didn't design this package to stand out. They designed it to fit perfectly into a moment nobody else was ready for, and that moment is now. With the engine trick gone, every team faces the same problem again. Energy drop at the end of the lap, that slight but critical loss of speed, the one drivers can feel but can't fully control. And suddenly, something that was hidden before becomes visible again: weakness. But Ferrari approached it differently. They didn't try to eliminate the problem, they studied it, they broke it down. They asked a much deeper question: what if the key to gaining time isn't adding power, but losing less of it? That changes everything, because now the focus shifts from peak performance to consistency under pressure, from maximum output to controlled efficiency. And this is where the upgrade begins to reveal its true purpose. Not in the first sector, not in the middle of the lap, but in the exact moment where everyone else starts to struggle. Low battery, reduced deployment, the point where the car naturally fights against itself. Ferrari made that phase smoother, cleaner, more predictable. And that might sound small, but in Formula One, small is everything. Because when two drivers cross the line separated by fractions, the car that loses less speed at the end wins. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because improving that phase isn't just about the engine, it's about how everything works together. Aerodynamics, energy recovery, throttle response, even how the driver approaches the final corners. It's a complete system. And Ferrari didn't just upgrade one part of it, they aligned all of it. So when the battery drops, the car doesn't fall apart, it stays stable, it stays efficient, it keeps pushing forward just a little bit more than the others. And that little bit is where positions are decided. Now think about Miami again. Long straights, heavy braking zones, multiple acceleration points, a track where energy cycles constantly, which means that critical phase happens more than once, and every time it happens, Ferrari has an opportunity, not to dominate instantly, but to gain repeatedly, corner after corner, straight after straight, until the difference becomes impossible to ignore. And this is the part most people overlook, because they're still thinking about what was banned, but Ferrari is already thinking about what comes next. And what comes next isn't about tricks, it's about execution, precision, control, and a car that behaves exactly the same even when everything else starts to fade. But there's one more layer to this, one that could define whether this upgrade is just competitive or championship changing. Because if Ferrari has truly solved that final phase better than anyone else, then they haven't just adapted to the new rules, they've mastered them. And that raises a much bigger question, not just for Miami, but for every race that follows. What happens when the advantage isn't hidden anymore, but built directly into the car itself? And this is where everything starts to connect, because Ferrari's upgrade isn't just about performance, it's about pressure. The kind of pressure that builds slowly, lap after lap, until mistakes begin to appear. Think about what happens now to the other teams. They've lost the trick, they've lost that safety net at the end of the lap, that extra margin, that invisible boost that covered small imperfections. Now every corner matters more, every deployment decision becomes critical, and when you're chasing tenths, that pressure builds fast, because drivers know something has changed, they feel it immediately. The car doesn't carry the same speed at the end of the straight. The lap feels different, less forgiving, more exposed. And when a driver starts to feel that, they push harder, they brake later, they risk more on corner exit, they try to recover what's been lost. But that's where things begin to crack, because pushing harder doesn't always mean going faster. Sometimes it means losing control. And this is exactly where Ferrari's advantage becomes psychological, not just mechanical. Because while others are fighting the car, Ferrari's drivers feel something else: consistency, confidence, a car that behaves the same way every lap, even when the battery is low, even when the tires are fading. And that confidence changes everything. It allows cleaner laps, more precise inputs, less overdriving, and over a full qualifying session, that difference becomes massive. But here's the deeper layer, because this isn't just about one lap in Q3, it's about how teams prepare for it. Setup choices, energy mapping, risk tolerance, everything shifts. Some teams will try aggressive setups to compensate, others will play it safe and lose time. But Ferrari, they don't need to guess, they already understand the new balance, and that gives them something incredibly valuable: clarity. And in Formula One, clarity is speed. Now bring this back to Miami, a circuit where confidence under braking is critical, where traction zones punish instability, where small errors cost huge chunks of time. And suddenly, this upgrade isn't just helpful, it's perfectly aligned with the track. But there's one final detail that makes this even more important, because Miami is not just another race, it's the first real test after everything changed. No more hidden advantages, no more gray areas, just pure performance. And that means for the first time this season, we're about to see who is truly fast and who was being helped by something that no longer exists. And if Ferrari comes out ahead here, then this isn't just an upgrade success, it's confirmation. Confirmation that they didn't just react to the ban, they built for it, they predicted it, and they're ready to take advantage before anyone else fully catches up. Which leads to the question now hanging over the entire paddock. Not whether Ferrari improved, but whether everyone else just fell behind at the worst possible moment. And now we reach the part that no one can measure yet, because everything so far has been theory, data, predictions, but Miami is where theory becomes reality, and reality in Formula One is brutal, because the stopwatch doesn't care about expectations, it only reveals the truth. So imagine this moment: final runs in qualifying, track at its peak, drivers on the edge, every team searching for that perfect lap, and for the first time this season, there's nowhere to hide. No hidden tricks, no invisible advantages, just the car and the driver. This is where Ferrari's real test begins. Not in simulations, not in practice runs, but in that single lap where everything has to come together. And here's the key detail: if Ferrari's upgrade works the way they expect, you won't see it immediately. You'll feel it at the end, in the final sector, on the last straight, where other cars begin to fade just slightly, and Ferrari doesn't. That's how this advantage shows itself, not as a dramatic gain, but as the absence of loss. And that's much harder to detect, because from the outside, it looks normal, but on the timing screen, it isn't. That's where the gaps appear. Tiny at first, a few thousandths, then hundredths, and suddenly positions change, and nobody fully understands why. But here's where it gets even more critical, because once that pattern appears, other teams will notice. Engineers will see it in the data, drivers will feel it on track, and the reaction will begin. Questions will be asked, setups will change, strategies will shift, but just like before, reaction is always slower than preparation, and Ferrari is already there, already operating in that new reality, while others are still trying to understand it. And that gap, even if temporary, is enough to secure track position, enough to control the race, enough to force rivals into uncomfortable strategies. And in Formula One, control is everything. But there's one final layer, the one that could decide whether this upgrade becomes a turning point or just a missed opportunity. Because having the advantage is not the same as using it. Ferrari still has to execute perfect laps, clean strategy, no mistakes. Because if they don't, all of this disappears and the window closes just as fast as it opened. But if they do, if everything aligns, then Miami won't just be remembered as another race. It will be remembered as the moment everything changed, the moment Ferrari stopped chasing and started leading. And the real question is no longer about upgrades, bans, or technical tricks. It's much simpler than that.
when the advantage finally became visible, who was ready to take advantage. If you step back for a second, the bigger picture starts to appear, because this was never just about Miami. This is about a shift in Formula One itself, a moment where the sport resets without officially saying so. Because for the first 3 races, something was influencing the results, something subtle, something hidden, up to almost 2/10 per lap in qualifying, deciding grid positions before the lights even went out. And now, that factor is gone completely, which means everything we thought we understood about performance needs to be questioned. Because maybe some teams weren't as fast as they looked, maybe others were closer than the data suggested, and maybe Ferrari was never as far behind as people believed. That's the uncomfortable truth emerging right now. Because when you remove an artificial advantage, you reveal the real hierarchy, the true pace, the genuine strengths and weaknesses of each car. And that's exactly what Miami is about to expose. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because this kind of...
Thanks for watching this video on my channel F1 News, and please subscribe my channel and press bell icon.